Hi there, and thanks for tuning in to this virtual tour of Olinda Alpha Landfill in Brea, California. Olinda Alpha Landfill is owned and operated by the County of Orange's Waste and Recycling Department, also known as OC Waste and Recycling. OC Waste and Recycling serves residents and businesses in the county's 34 cities and unincorporated areas. Our 3 active landfills are among the largest in the state and annually receive more than 4 million tons of solid waste. We operate 4 household hazardous waste collection centers throughout the county to accept hazardous waste that can't go to the landfills. The Olinda Alpha Landfill first opened in 1960. The landfill contains 453 acres of refuse disposal area and accepts about 7,000 tons a day of non-hazardous municipal solid waste from commercial haulers and Orange County residents. This makes Olinda Alpha one of the largest landfills in California. This virtual tour is intended to give you an idea of how we manage our waste and provide an essential public service by creating a safe, environmentally responsible, forever home for things you no longer have a use for. Let's begin our virtual tour of the Olinda Alpha Landfill. It's a beautiful day here in Brea, California. When you first drive through the front gates, the first building you'll see is our Landfill Administration Building. This is where our administrative staff work. Landfills are highly regulated by a number of agencies that are responsible for air, water, wildlife, and more. Our office staff and supervisors are responsible for keeping our operations running and keeping detailed records to ensure compliance with laws and regulations. When you exit our administration building and head up the hill, the next area you'll see is our fee booth, also known as the scales. This is where our customers enter the landfill. Customers are charged based on the type of material being disposed and the weight measured at the scales. Businesses can get an account and use a sticker that tells us the vehicle weight. Otherwise, they have to come back through the scales to get reweighed when their vehicles are empty. Residents of Orange County can also self-haul their own trash. Self-haulers are charged a flat rate if their trash weight is below 880 pounds or pay by the ton. We're now going to head up the main access road to where the trash is being dumped. As you can see from this bird's eye view, there's much more to a landfill than just dumping trash in a hole. We need to protect the air we breathe and the water we drink, and we want to make sure the trash stays put once we place it into a cell. So we have a number of systems in place to ensure the trash is responsibly managed. As we continue up the main road, you'll notice you don't see any trash. This area looks very much like a natural hillside. This is by design. We want to blend our waste fills in with the natural surroundings as much as possible. The trash in the area we're looking at is more than 30 years old. On these particular slopes, we don't plan to put any more trash, so we've installed what's called a final cover. The final cover is a 4 to 5 foot thick layer of compacted dirt. The purpose of the final cover is to keep gas, trash, and other contaminants within the landfill while keeping stormwater out. The reason we want to minimize stormwater infiltration into the landfill is to protect our groundwater. However, stormwater poses another challenge for our site. Stormwater has the potential to erode the cover dirt, which could cause trash to be exposed and contaminants to enter the environment. We use a combination of erosion control technologies and an engineered stormwater management system to minimize cover erosion. You may be wondering what those light horizontal lines are on the slopes. These are called straw wattles. They're designed to intercept stormwater as it flows down the hill, slowing it down. The less speed the water has, the less likely it will be to pick up dirt and cause erosion. We also place a seed mix to establish native, drought-tolerant plants on our slopes. The roots of these plants are highly effective at keeping dirt on the hillside where it belongs. Here's a typical stormwater pipe you might see at our landfill. Stormwater that falls on the landfill is conveyed into these pipes. The pipes then send the water to one of our desilting basins. The purpose of our desilting basins is to retain the water and let it sit still. Over time, the dirt particles will drop out of the water. Keep in mind that this is only water that has fallen on our covered slopes. None of it has been in contact with trash. The water exits the basin through floating skimmers, so only the clean water at the surface leaves the site. A major byproduct we manage is landfill gas. Landfill gas is mostly methane and carbon dioxide. These gases are generated as organic waste decomposes in the landfill. Olinda Alpha has hundreds of gas extraction wells. These wells are each individually monitored and tuned to maximize gas collection. The wells are connected to a vast network of vacuum lines that suck the gas out of the well and send the gas to our on-site power plant. When the gas arrives at our power plant, it's cleaned up and compressed to make it suitable for use as fuel. The compressed gas is then sent to the cogeneration facility, where it's combusted in turbines to generate electricity. The steam produced is fed to a steam turbine. The power plant as a whole is capable of producing up to 32 megawatts of electricity. That's enough energy to power more than 30,000 homes. When the power plant is down for maintenance, the gas is sent to our on-site flares to be destroyed. Let's continue along the main road up to where the trash is placed. On the right, we're approaching the area known as the wet deck. The wet deck is where we place trash when it's raining. We accept broken asphalt free of charge. The asphalt is reused on-site to pave our wet deck. This creates a drivable surface that allows our landfill to continue to accept trash all year round, rain or shine. Let's continue on to the active lift. The active lift refers to the location where trash is currently being placed. In this area, our customers drive on dirt roads built on top of trash. Off in the distance, you can see that we're filling against a hillside. By the time the landfill is closed, the trash will be level with that ridge. If you look really closely at that ridge, you may notice some movement on that hillside. It's goats! We use goats on the native hillsides for weed abatement. The goats eat the vegetation growing on the hillside, which prevents the brush from becoming a fire hazard during the dry summer months. Goats are a lot cheaper than having people trim the brush, and it's a lot safer than having people do it too. Another great thing about goats is that they eat the above-ground portion of the plant, but leave the roots in place. This helps with preventing erosion. Here, you can see how effective the goats are. Compare the right side of the video with the uneaten portion on the left. Let's go to the main event, our active lift. This is where all the action is. On the right side, you can see stockpiles of dirt that trucks are dumping near the active lift. We accept clean dirt for free. To bring dirt to Olinda Alpha landfill, the dirt must first be tested for contaminants. After the dirt is approved, it's brought to the landfill with a letter certifying that it's allowed to be dumped here. On the left side of the video, you can see a pile of white appliances. This is called our white goods area. The white goods area is where appliances are collected that can't be disposed of in the landfill, like refrigerators, water heaters, and stoves. The white goods are hauled off-site and recycled at a different facility, ensuring a safe and responsible end of life for these products. Next to the white good areas are the wind cages. The wind cages trap flying litter. They can be picked up and moved around based on where the wind is blowing. At the end of the day, our laborers clean litter off of the wind cages and pick up other stray litter. We're now at the part of the landing known as the public area. This is where self-haul garbage is disposed. We keep the self-haul customer separated from commercial trucks for safety reasons. Public trash tends to be more contaminated than commercial trash. Here, you can see one of our waste inspectors sorting through the public trash and pulling out items that don't belong in the landfill. This includes e-waste, tires, treated wood, and household chemicals. You may be wondering what's going to happen with all that green waste on the left. Stay tuned, we'll get into that in a moment. First, let's finish looking at the active lift. This is our commercial dumping area. The red and white trucks on the right are commercial loads that were first sorted at a materials recovery facility. These trucks contain the waste left over after all the recyclables were pulled out of the garbage. You can see how the trash is unloaded mechanically from the back of the trucks. Waste disposal is a very high hazard activity, so minimizing human contact with the waste is important for safety reasons. After the trash is unloaded from the vehicles, we push it using dozers and compact it using compactors. Each piece of equipment has GPS capability that allows the operators to know exactly how many times they've run over a particular area. The goal is to work each area a minimum of 3 times to achieve optimum compaction. Compacting the trash ensures that we get as much trash as possible into the space we have. The more space we save, the longer we can stay open and continue to serve the public. An engineer designs the trash lift in the office and sends the design to the equipment, so each day the operators know where to build the lift. At the end of each working day, the active lift is covered with a combination of dirt and tarps. This is called a daily cover. The daily cover prevents the trash from being blown away or carried off by birds and other animals. It also minimizes odors and keeps the trash from coming into contact with rain. OC Waste and Recycling is transitioning from strictly landfilling to becoming a resource recovery service. Items that used to get buried at the landfill are now being recovered and repurposed. As part of our efforts to promote sustainability, we're developing compost facilities at each of our active landfills. Composting creates a nutrient-rich product from green waste as an alternative to traditional landfilling. Processed green waste, such as yard clippings and landscape trimmings, are brought to the site and placed into piles. The piles are then hydrated to promote the growth of beneficial bacteria. The bacteria break down the organic material into a form plants can use. The temperature of the pile is monitored on a daily basis. Finally, when the piles are ready, the compost is placed through a screening machine and separated into piles based on particle size. The compost is now ready to be used to enrich soil. At this time, Olinda Alpha Landfill is projected to have enough capacity to continue operating as a waste disposal facility until the mid-2030s. This is what the landfill will look like after it closes. Monitoring requirements and environmental controls will remain in place indefinitely, funded by the disposal fees we're collecting now. Methane will continue to be generated and converted into electricity for decades after waste disposal operations end. Waste management is an essential public service. OC Waste and Recycling is committed to managing your waste responsibly, but we need your help. You've already taken a great first step by learning more about how landfills work. Another conversation you can have is with your waste hauler. They can provide you with information on how to properly sort materials into the right container and where to take items that might be hazardous. Reducing the amount of waste you create and properly sorting your waste now is key to making sure we protect our resources for generations to come. Thank you for watching. We hope this has been educational and has inspired you to be a responsible steward of your waste. For more information on Olinda Alpha Landfill and our other solid waste programs, visit oclandfills.com. Stay up to date with our activities by going to Facebook, Twitter, Vimeo, and Instagram, and typing @OC Waste in the search bar.